This is the AVATA 2 that I've been pushing to the limits over the last week or so here in Indonesia, together with the brand new O4 system and goggles 3. And let me tell you, I have a lot to say about this drone. Let's go. As you can see, we pushed the absolute limit of this drone. So before we get into the exciting stuff, let's check through what's actually new. So obviously you have the new drone, which is the AVATA 2, you have the goggles 3, the RC3 and the Motion 3 controller. With the AVATA 2, you can now shoot an up to 4K, 4x3, 60 FPS with 10-bit D-Log M color profile. This will give you much more dynamic range and will be much easier to color grade in post. It also features the brand new O4 transmission system, which has a bigger sensor and will give you better looking footage. Now the goggles are pretty exciting because they changed the design, so there's no more touchscreen. They also introduced a little headrest, which is quite comfortable flying. Particularly if you sweat a lot like I do when I'm flying, it doesn't fog up as easily anymore, which is quite nice, and it's just really comfortable to wear. I personally believe that the flying experience has been tenfold with these new goggles. They also removed the foam, so you now have some elastic plastic in there, which helps to completely black it out. They've also introduced the 2 cameras in the front of the goggles, which allows you to see what's outside of the goggles without taking them off. I think that's pretty sleek. And finally, you have the RC3 and Motion 3 controller. Personally, I definitely prefer this one because it reminds me more of a traditional FPV remote. It also has no more external antenna because everything is now within. And the Motion 3 is super lightweight, surprisingly very accurate, and also we'll be challenging ourselves to use this throughout the video as well. But enough talking specs, time to show you the drone in action. Let's go. Lose it, don't worry about it. Today we want to go full send, no risk, no fun. Let's go. Awesome. So we just caught up here with Branson and Varun, 2 of the pro surfers here in Indonesia, and we're trying to get some really cool chasing shots as they're surfing, as they do some mid-airs. And ideally I'll be shooting everything in 4K 60 FPS, get some slow-mo going on and trying to orbit them as they're in the air. Very hard to capture, not gonna lie, surf is really tough, but we try our best. Let's go!
Look good?
Oh, I gotta bring this shit back right now. I need to back this up. Whoa. Whoa! That was wild. You have this on camera?
Yeah, I think I got it on camera.
The dog just tried to like Round 2, baby. So surfing, as I said, is really hard to capture. But once again, with the battery life of the AVATA 2, which is up to 23 minutes, in reality, we all know it's not the case. It probably lasts around 17, 18 minutes, but still, that's way better than a traditional FPV drone. So yeah, we're going to do for round 2. Footage is backed up. Let's hit the waves. Woo! Can't talk, can't talk. Going, following him, around him. Come on, Bronson. Nice! Whoa! Well, that was crazy. I think we got a couple shots here and there. Obviously, I could go here all day, but we just ran out of batteries, despite the long battery life of the AVATA 2. Regardless, epic shoot, epic boys. Time to go to the next location. So we just arrived at this insane bamboo villa here in Cedarman, and we linked up with 2 other creators to plan this crazy one sequence shot on the AVATA 2. And it's quite sunny right now, so we make sure that we use an ND32 filter for this one, so we can keep all the settings in check. I'm actually really keen to see how it performs. I'm keen to see how it performs in changing lighting conditions and also how it flies in close proximity and in tight spaces. Let's go. There's obviously a lot of, moving parts in this, but the more moving parts, the better the shot. Also for this one, I'm gonna challenge myself to film all this with the motion controller. I know, controversial, I get it, but we really wanna give it a chance, so let's see how this performs.
That is crazy.
Over the rise field, so I really wanna make sure that I line this up nicely. It's gotta be challenging, I'm not gonna lie, particularly just with the motion controller, but apparently they've improved it. Rolling, let's go. Nice and close over the leaves, over the rice fields. Gaining height now. Slowly around the corner. Oh! Right now the challenge is to, obviously we shoot this with the motion controller, so I'm trying to lose height, so I need to push forward like that. And because I'm going at a certain speed, it's quite challenging to do that. Obviously with the RC3, there wouldn't be an issue because I have more control over the drone, but with this one it's quite challenging, but we keep pushing. Now before we continue with this video, I quickly want to give a shout out to Artlist, who are the sponsors of this video and are my go-to platform for any sort of sound effects, motion graphics or royalty-free music. Now Artlist provides you with everything you need to create amazing videos and has a large variety of carefully curated playlists to take your content to the next level. The user interface is super intuitive, which actually makes it very efficient to flick through a variety of tracks ranging from upbeat electronic sounds all the way to the cinematic masterpieces we all love. Artlist also offers an extensive library of content assets which are part of the Artlist Max subscription, giving you and your team access to up to 8K footage, sound effects, and so much more. I actually often find myself creating a collection of sounds for each project that I'm currently working on to keep a better overview of what songs or sound effects I'm planning on using. My favorite genres are probably cinematic and world, which when combined usually gets me exactly what I need when I work on pieces like this video. Now if you're like me and you're always trying to step up your game, you can now sign up through the link in the description, which will give you 2 months free to Artlist if you opt in for an annual subscription. Thank you so much Artlist for sponsoring this video, and now it's time to head back to Indonesia. Another day, another full send mission, and today I'm with Bali's best FPV drone pilot, Surya. Make sure to check him out. We are in an absolute beautiful location here with the rice fields all to ourselves. And today the mission is to get some really dope close-up chasing shots of each other. I think that would look really cool of me flying behind him. It will be a great clip for the cinematic video. So let's see how we go. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go, bro.
DJI introduced a new color profile, which is called D-Log M, which apparently is easier to grade now. That's what it says, at least in the spec sheet. So I've been playing with it a bit, and it's actually quite easy to grade in post once you convert it into Rec 709. And putting a basic color grade on it should do the trick. Going up, epic, chasing each other. Let's go! Yes! Oh my god, I almost crashed. Oh my god, this is crazy, bro! You come out of nowhere. This is the best thing ever. Let me land that thing. Oh my god. Oh man, this chasing stuff was absolutely crazy. It's so easy to maneuver actually with this, particularly in a control setting like this. He's obviously on the RC3 right now. How was this?
Yeah, so good, bro.
How's the connection being near each other?
The connection was actually good to fly next to each other.
No problem.
There was no problem, no interference. If anything, it was just so exciting to be so close. We're gonna check out the footage now, back everything up because there are some bangers in there already. And then we're gonna send it for round 2.
No good.
Well, part of the game. You crash some, you win some, right? So
that's it.
Hopefully it still works. Okay, you know how to turn off? Oh, jump, yeah, take out. This, yeah. I was saying earlier, if you can't handle crashing, FPV isn't for you, even if you fly an Avatar. I know there's a lot of safety features in this one, which is really beautiful. By the end of the day, you gotta be willing to send it for the shot. Just remember that. The Avatar is not saving you from crashes. It may help you to avoid them, but it's definitely not saving you.
Out of curiosity, how many of these do we have?
We have only one.
Yeah. One drone, right?
One drone, one life.
Yep.
Same thing, we're all in, baby. I think it's better to be safe than sorry because we don't want to risk putting the battery in there right now whilst it's still wet. So Surya suggested to maybe go see someone to quickly open up the drone for us, make sure it's dry inside, and then send it again. A couple hours later, we had the drone inspected and there was apparently a lot of water in the drone. Despite it working at first, we didn't want to risk it to put the battery in while we were at the rice fields. So they cleaned it all up, went in, opened it up, and now is the moment of truth where I'm going to put in the battery to see if it works. On to the next adventure, baby! Today's all about chasing waterfalls, and we're going to see a total of 3. Each of them have their unique features, and it's going to be an absolute massive scent. Let's go. This is pretty crazy, like the conditions are absolutely incredible and we're getting really nice shots, I think. Look how much water is on the lens, so she's definitely getting wet, but she's performing like a champ. Yeah, so far really happy. The D-Log M color profile is pretty insane how versatile it is. You can really bring back the shadows, which was also part of the improvements with the AVATA 2. It's stunning, it's honestly stunning. I'm really impressed. The quality of the footage, the colors, how much freedom I have in post to color grade at the moment. That's what I'm currently checking to see if everything works out once I convert it into Rec 709. And just overall, it's really beautiful. I love that the AVATA tells you where your home point is. It's a game changer because so many times I've flown obviously my other drones and I have no clue where I am. It's definitely a great safety feature, if not even my favorite safety feature on the AVATA 2. Wow, this was epic. Like, I'm so in disbelief how well this drone performs in situations where you would usually use a 5-inch drone. It's pretty incredible. I am yet to see my footage, but so far 10 out of 10 flying experience for that one, for sure. The new goggles are super comfortable actually. With the headrest right there, it's really easy for me to just have them almost like right above my forehead, and because I get quite sweaty in locations like this, they don't fog up as easily. But you do have a defog function actually inside the goggles, which is quite nice. But yeah, overall comfort really nice. The only downside I don't like about it is that the battery is integrated, so I can't really like carry spare batteries with me. Hopefully the DJI fixes that somehow by bringing out spare batteries, but that's probably the one downside I don't like about them. It's crazy how far Cinewhoops have come. I mean, I fly actually a lot of Cinewhoops for my hotel work, but I'd never really fly them outdoors. And with the AVATA 2, it's a bit different. I can definitely see myself flying that more in outdoors. And I mean, diving down a waterfall is, once again, it's usually a 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch job versus this drone here. Yeah, really impressed. It's a Cinewhoop, not a 5-inch. Man, I can't believe how freaking water resistant that drone is. Don't quote me on that. I'm not promoting to use the AVATA 2 in close proximity to water, okay? So you can't make me liable for this. But this drone has been through literal pools of water. Waterfalls, mud water, rice field water, cooking water. No, I'm joking, but like, you get the point. And it is just in mint condition. Pretty stoked what we got so far. I'm probably gonna fly now a bit of random lines just to get more B-roll footage for the cinematic piece I'm putting together. But yeah, pretty stoked with how today went so far. We hit 3 waterfalls and I can't wait what we have tomorrow. Alright, so we just wrapped up Bromo, the crater, which was absolutely insane. And now we're here at the bottom actually, which is pretty sick. So we have lined up a beautiful red Jeep and we also have a motorbike rider now who's going to go absolute full send. I think this is going to be once again a bit of a freestyle session. I just want to get some really crazy action shots. Let's go. Wow, so that was pretty crazy. I can't believe how fast I can actually fly with the Avatar. And I was flying, I think, at 18 degrees, so maybe I can increase it a little bit more. I'm just gonna quickly review, see what it looked like, but it looked pretty insane with the scenery behind him. And for the next shot, I'll try to get even closer. Just wrapped up in the desert, and a lot of people actually don't know that Bromo has a beautiful green side as well. It's only visible at the end of raining season, and it is probably the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. Well, today was probably the most insane day I've ever had in my life. I mean, we chased horses, we chased motocross riders, we chased a jeep, and tomorrow we're gonna hike up Ijen, which is another active volcano which will blow your mind. Let's go. Got the first flight in the bag. Unreal conditions. The last time I was here, it was all fogged up. You could barely see the toxic lake behind us. But today, none of that. It's perfect. And I was actually quite surprised with the connectivity of the Avatar 2, because last time I was flying here, I would lose connectivity the second I would go down there, and I thought maybe there's some sort of magnetic interference. However, today, no issues so far, touch wood. Just trying to back it up as always, and then we're gonna send it again. Insane. Once again, I've said so many times on this trip already, but this drone does not fly like a Cinewhoop. It flies like a 5-inch. Maybe if you do some crazy like whip turns, then it performs like a Cinewhoop. Fair. But everything else, you can dive buildings, you can dive mountains, you can dive into volcanoes, you can dive down waterfalls. At this stage, anything is possible with this drone. Something I've also noticed while shooting with the Avatar 2 so far is that I get to charge my batteries in the field on top of a volcano with a literal portable charger and a USB-C cable. If we put this in comparison, this is my usual gear that I bring on a shoot like this. We have like 15 batteries or so. It's pretty heavy too, and I can't recharge them in the field unless I bring an even bigger LiPo battery with me, which will be even heavier. Definitely like the size factor here, because this gets me multiple charges versus this one does too, but obviously the weight difference is pretty huge. From a professional, traditional FPV drone pilot, let's call it that, okay? I am quite shocked how much I appreciate the Avatar 2, how much I enjoy flying it. It gives me a lot of confidence in my equipment that I usually don't have to that extent. Today, for example, at Ijen, I was flying in gaps that I would never fly with the FPV drones, because I know once I have a bit of a lag or something going crazy, that's it, you know? Versus with the Avatar 2, I feel like I've really been pushing the limits, the boundaries, and that's pretty dope. That's something I really have to admit DJI really nailed with this one. Now, as you can see, we had an absolute blast in Indonesia, but before we wrap things up, I quickly want to give you my final thoughts on the AVATA 2. Now, let's start with who's this drone actually for. I think whether you're just starting out or you're already established like myself, it definitely adds a lot of values to both parties. If you're just starting out, it definitely assists you in overcoming all the obstacles, particularly in the beginning when you don't really know how to charge or discharge batteries or all the other stuff. This thing is ready to go. If you're already an established FPV pilot, it definitely has all the features that you wish your FPV drone probably would have, and also allows you to go up to a full send with more confidence. With that being said, my favorite features of this drone are definitely the battery life. A normal FPV drone only flies up to maybe 5 minutes, depending how aggressively you fly. With the AVATA 2, you can definitely get at least 15 minutes out of your flying experience, which is huge in the FPV world, and definitely allows you to get more creative with your shots. As mentioned earlier, the 04 system has a larger sensor, and you can definitely notice it, particularly at low light. There were moments where I was shooting just after the sun had set. It was quite dark out, and the quality of the footage looked outrageously good. Having that improved low light quality is definitely a huge upgrade from the previous AVATA and allows me to shoot in situations where light is scarce. The new D-Log M color profile that DJI has introduced to the AVATA 2 is also a huge upgrade and allows you to have so much more freedom in post when color grading your footage. If you're not as confident in color grading, I do sell a Cinematic LUT Bundle, which is specifically curated for the AVATA 2. I'm gonna link it below in the description, and it will allow you to take your content definitely to the next level. And finally, the overall flying experience of this Cinewhoop is ridiculous. As you could see in the video, I was able to dive waterfalls, volcanoes, and all sorts of things, which I usually wouldn't do with a Cinewhoop. However, with the AVATA 2, I was able to do all this and more. So if you're in the market for a new drone or you're just starting out and want something that's safe to fly, I definitely recommend to start out with the AVATA 2. It is the perfect hybrid between Cinewhoop and 5-inch drone. Allows you to fly pretty much anywhere and gets you some really crisp footage. I really hope you found this video helpful and enjoyed it as much as I love creating it. And if you have any questions about the drone or the color grading process or anything about this video, drop your questions below. I'd love to help, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.